This is Mako, and we're going to do a captura stream. I've been getting a lot of requests after the ones I've been posting in the club. So we're going to do just a few tutorials how to. Number one, the sigil on my chest of this Banshee is the Xbox Year 1 sigil. You can get the Year 2 if you've been here Year 2, but upcoming you should be able to get Year 3. Let's start off with some basics of captura. What should you know about captura? Well, to even get into it, you have to go up to your Warframe, hit Appearance, which is X for me on console, or whatever on Xbox anyway, and then you hit X again. Now, I had some requests specifically on my Banshee to show how I did it. Well, here are the color palettes I have for her. You can pause this to check out what it is, exact spot. Now, you should also know that when you do captura, you don't necessarily need to bring a battle combat build in. It's all for staging and making a pretty nice looking, scene. First up, though, you should know, get your companion off. Do not leave a companion on when you go into captura. There's not anything wrong with it, but, having them float over your head and photobomb your pictures really kind of is a letdown. It doesn't look as immersive or as nice. So of the capture scenes that you get when you start, I would suggest not the Corpus ship or Grineer Galleon, but the Infested ship. Now the Grineer Galleon, you can, if you dim the lights to 0, you can get it near black in certain locations. So if you were trying to get for a more dark theme, if you don't have the color key, which is offered from Cimaris in the relay, standing, you then can also do Infested ship. If you go into this place where you see the big blue hologram, you can then dim the lights down again, set one of the filters up, and you can get kind of like an aquarium ocean blue. You know what I'm talking about? When you go in there and it's a deep oceany blue background around you. It makes a nice effect if you have blue or just want to make things pop. For this thing, we'll do the color key scheme. Okay. Haven't had this happen in a while. Well, glad we recorded that, right, Tenno? Right. That was a new one. So, I'll set this up as a black capture. Now you look at my character, it looks kind of fuzzy. Doesn't look as nice as the one you've probably seen. Now, in this area, it looks like just a pitch black void. Well, it's not really true. There are walls, and you won't really find them until you run into them like an idiot. So you just kind of want to stay close to center. If you see this kind of blur effect starts going up, it doesn't look very nice, so you want to try to clean this up pretty easily, right? First, open your menu by pushing up on your D-pad, then down to bring up the full effect. First thing I do is I remove the grain. This is kind of that fuzzy look. Doesn't help. Now you put the depth down to 0, max this out, and adjust field of view. This will increase the pixels per, so you get a better detail quality, as you can see. Still, it looks kind of plastic, fake. I don't know what you would call it. For some good pictures, I would suggest cross-process or bleach. Bleach can give you a really nice HD kind of look, as you can see right here now that I've already started adjusting my settings. And this is what you as a captura artist would like to see, right? A very nice looking image. But is that all that it's required? No, not really. You should also know that weapons and effects can also deal different things. So like when you shoot something, it gets sparks. Now look, if you overlay the sparks, get into the middle, you can get some cool little particle effects. Just as an example of how to use weapon effects. For this one, I'll bring out my Redeemer just like I did in the picture. Now, casting powers can create nice effects also. It's just so simple to make it look back to where it was, as you can see. You can even fly through the fog, create an outer laying effect, or use the fog itself as a filter. That's what I tend to do. So I try to make the powers sync up with the Warframe's abilities. And you know how it looks. So let's just, for argument's sake, try to make her look like I did before. We'll just field of view some more. Grain is down, saturation is down. Get depth up all the way. Now, let's adjust the scene lighting. Scene lighting is good in some ways, but most of the time I end up turning it off or very low. Just to give it that depth. Now, with 3 light, you're going to want to try to match your environment and the frame. You don't want to have too much of both. So for here, what I would suggest in this dark area, you're trying to reflect lighting. Put on some grays. I usually do 1 light gray, 1 dark gray in this area, and then I try to match the Warframe's color or the aura of the particles that are around her or him. So in this case, I've already kind of got the HD look going again. But now, is that all that's required? No, you gotta try to adjust the light. There you go. And there you are. How you create an HD captura picture. Now, is this all you want to do? No. You want to do some kind of cool combat scenes, which you can get some nice little effects in. Remember, angling and such is one of the big factors here for better view, better look. So usually you want to get the color of the aura that you want to reflect, like say that pink. You want to have that angled toward it. If you want the light to be a little brighter, to try to make it more realistic looking, you try to do what's called a hard light. So you want the light to reflect, refract, look more real. You can completely turn off the light and get a pretty nice effect. The main thing with capture is you should just be playing with it. Just go in and start experimenting with how it looks. Now, in motion and movement, the weapons may get kind of blurry, or even like up close, they're not very detailed. How you can fix that is, again, altering the rotation. There you go. Nice picture. Pretty simple, right? I mean, once somebody explains how they do their method, it's kind of simple, right? And, you know, using Tenogen doesn't hurt. Tenogen tend to be a nice higher quality, and you want to try to find and match ones to fit your frame style. I try to make my Warframes at least themed to something. I name them that way. Number 1, I can remember what the hell they're called. Number 2, try to get a pretty nice dramatic look into them. So, what you should learn from this is when doing a captura, pull from the color scheme of the Warframe itself, but also the environment. So let's just try different framing right now. we'll go grab Nyx. I think that would be a good one. So we've done Banshee. Let's try grabbing Nyx and see what we can do. I've actually recently got some new capturas, such as the Earth ones and Teshians. Let's go play in Teshian's Refuge for those conclavers. I do not conclave, so sorry about that. Just a heads up, I don't conclave. I don't enjoy it. Oh wow, this is kind of interesting. Kind of ghosty effects. It's the same thing as in Lua. Maybe I should check this place out more often. Then there's the Master of Conclave himself. Actually, I want to go up there. I don't like how there are tombstones. Now, if you're in Captura, number one, you should notice what I did wrong. I left my Sentinel on. Number two, if you don't like the scene you want to change, bring up your menu and go all the way to the bottom of Captura. Select Scene. It's that easy to fix an alter if you want to do it. But normally if you leave a Sentinel on, the only way to get rid of it, you can't really change your loadout in Captura. You have to then leave, go do stuff, and then go back in. Normally, if I don't want to mess with the specific loadouts I have, I'll just create a new loadout because I have spares. Let's see. So I'll remove the Digin. Don't need you anyway. So right now what I got is my Nyx. My Nyx is using quite a few Tenogen. Nyxakio by Meliu. I actually know Meliu. Nice artist, nice person. The Athena Nyx. I actually don't know this one, but I like the skin look. I enjoy the skin that goes with it, but I found this one to be a little more artistic, dramatic to the style I like, so take it as you will. And then I put Noble. Signdana is also done by a friend of mine. Here, Sharky. Me and Sharky do little art projects every now and then together. Let's go with some of the coloring. When you're trying to show people if they want to copy yours, you should always show the palette, where it's from,
an unexpected color combination.
Try to give them as much info or ways to duplicate what you've done, right? Okay, so now that we've removed the issue, being the Sentinel, let's go to Captura. Let's go to a scene that everybody has to start, which is the Grenier Galleon. You don't have to pay for this one, it comes free with Captura for all users. It's a pretty nice scene. It's the exact same map you'd see on like Hydron if you've ever been there in Sedna. If not, well, not sure what I can tell you. I usually like to be in this area more often if I'm in here. So back to the basics, remove grain. Put depth down to 0. For exposure. Contrast used to be one I liked, but it seems too cartoony. Now, if you're doing Harrow's area, which is the Temple of Harrow, Capture is saying, you can get a much nicer one. Bleach is another one, but here I like cross process. You can get this kind of dramatic, intense look. I mean, that's already pretty nice capture right there. If you want, if you're having trouble getting at the exact spot you want, slow it down. And get some cool bullet effects coming. Now, for those of you who aren't Codex people or working for Cephal and Samaris, I would suggest doing the scans because adding in some enemies can always be a good factor. There's this huge chunk of Grenier I've never gotten, which always bugs me. So let's grab Heavy Gunner, Napalmer, and we'll bump them up to 140. Whoa. That was a little buggy. I have to go back in here. The other thing is captura is buggy. You will get little issues. Quite frequently I've been getting a lot of this network error issue happening, and quite a few other 10 are, so just keep that in mind. Now this time let's really bump it up to 140 before it drops off. Why do I try to make them higher level? Well, they don't die as quick. Like most of other Tenno who are high ranked, I train and build and set up my warframe and weapons to take on enemies that are 140. So even at 140, that's how fast I shred them. You're like, holy crap. Probably, yeah. Yeah, my my prismatic rocket is probably one of my strongest weapons, just because of the evil ribbon on it. Now, when you're killing enemies that way, you don't want to make your character look static. It looks really lazy, cheap. It just doesn't look realistic. You want something nice. Now, sometimes you can get a cool effect from their attacks. Make it a dramatic effect behind you, intense. Start playing with the lighting effect. Now here, as I say, you want to try to match the environment. So here there's some yellow. I'm going to have some white lights, so I would grab some grays. There you are. Pretty nice, intensive look. Now, if you're trying to do what's called a cinematic thing, you wait till the enemy starts shooting at you. And now there you can get kind of like a depth look. So this one looks more like a scene you'd see when the game's loading. You want to try to make it look as legit as possible in regards to that. Pretty nice kind of HT looking scene there. Now, as you start playing with lighting, there is a glitch that will occur randomly in lighting, where it'll go from insanely dark to insanely bright for no apparent reason, so keep that in mind. There you go, dramatic pose of an enemy dying slowly. You can even pan over to the other side. Try to get a view and angle of your warframe, just at least most of it. But you want to get the depth of the hallway too. Up exposure back up. Yes, it is really annoying to be able to kill your enemy that quickly when you're trying to actually take a picture of them. There you go. You can kind of see what I mean by trying to stage it to where you get a dramatic scene, like where this side wasn't as to me it doesn't look as right. I know it looks pretty nice or whatever, but this side actually gives you a better look because you see how the warframe's moved inward to the right. It looks more dramatic and taking damage. So that's how to do a combat scene one. You can even just adjust it out. Try to make the feet look like they're planted down firmly. There you've got a combat scene. Adjust your light rotation just a bit. You don't need too much light on her or him or whoever you're doing here. You want to try to make it look like it belongs. So you just play with it until it looks right. In terms of the darkness, you don't want somebody to look like they're glowing like that side. You see the spotlight in pure darkness. You want to try to make a match, but you also want to make them visible. That's why you start adjusting and playing with the settings. Now if you're trying to do more close personal type, the only way you can get blood effects is by certain stances or ones that deal a slash proc. So as you're there, you see I can get blood gore effect going. It's not the best, it's not very impressive. You're not going to get a cool gore scene. You can on certain frames of Slash, like I'm saying. Slash can do it, but even then, if you do get a good gore fetish kind of look to it, whatever you want to call this, blood effect is very translucent. It's not very bloody looking, for lack of a better word. You can try to play with different filters to see if you can get a better effect. The blood I've never needed to use that one. Normally contrast makes the blood look a little more realistic, as you can see. But even then, it just kind of little splatters. There you go, nice little splatter going. And when you move or get close to it, it adjusts the shape, which is kind of irritating. It's very annoying. So just keep that in mind, Tenno.